Srivastava, Managing Director at Dimensions Corporate, joining us this morning. Ajay, great having you. Been a while.
Good morning.
Good morning. How's it looking? How's the market looking? What's the view at this point of time? Just give us the 30,000 feet view to start off.
Well, I think the 30,000 feet view is a great morning. It's a great weekend coming up. And I think it's a sense of relief after US last night. You saw the Kospi recovering today. You saw what happened to Microsoft last night. It was historical. Yesterday was historical. The recovery of Microsoft, that's just incredible. That tells you the power of fundamental stocks, and you need to buy them when they correct. I think the key element is, do you have liquidity to buy and courage to buy the stellar stocks when the chips are down? I think it was an amazing story yesterday and continues today. All in all, a good mark worldwide, a good scenario, positive scenario. India looking good as well because the results have been quite nice. You've been looking at most of the companies have done decently well. Growth rates are good. So I think, it's a sweet spot for the market. Our valuations are high, which is given. But the fact is, companies are doing well. And I think that's a great part of the story. So it's all in all a very good result season, very good US market. Kospi recovery is a great symbol. I think can't get better weekend. I think there's no need to work today, believe me.
Ajay, some of us have to.
Unfortunately, you'll be there. You'll be there with me. Don't worry.
Sure. Ajay, just trying to therefore get a sense. How do you play IT hardware at a time like this from an India equity standpoint? Is there a way to play that, or do you take exposure to US, Korea, and the like? And is this a good time to actually take exposure to those markets?
See, time-wise, I say, like if you have a freedom of choice, you can decide, and if you can be prescient about it, that yes, it'll go up or down. I do not know the answer. The answer is that you have to participate in the markets, and in IT, India doesn't offer many options at the end of the day. We have one or two stocks, and that's all about it. Our software stocks you're seeing are tumbling around all over the place. They go up and down. So I think if you have to be in the IT space, and which you have to be, let's not call IT, let's call it tech space, right? You got to be in the markets where the tech space is, which is whether it's chip stocks, whether it is things like, a Microsoft like Azure, who's the product which is there. So, you got to be in the markets where the companies dominantly are. There's no choice. So I don't think India is a great place for the tech space at all. In fact, India has so many more options. But why would I allocate money to a suboptimal company in India when I've got fantastic stories, engineering stories, auto stories, pharma stories coming out of India? Why would I allocate to space? So I think purely in terms of, return on capital employed and the fact that you need to have exposure to the tech space. You need to be in the US and Korean markets at the end of the day. There is no choice. When you pick up, how much you pick up is up to your cash flows, your risk abilities, but you can't ignore those markets. And I think you have ETFs there, which can help you quite well. So it's not all that stock specific, but I think if you don't have it, and we've been saying you need to have it because that's where the world is. Put people in perspective. The Microsoft increase yesterday was just enough for more than the market cap of many stock markets in the world. One stock increase. That's the power of US tech.
Absolutely. And Ajay, if someone's sitting out of India and wants to bet on the on AI through the India stories, how should one do it? What's the take there?
See, in India, the AI story is playing out quite well in the manufacturing sector. It's strange that it's no direct implications, like it's not an AI story we have. But the fact is, if you look at our industries today, our manufacturing industries, our banking sector, they are the biggest beneficiaries of AI today because they're applying AI to reduce their cost, increase their productivity, and reduce the cycle time in autos, for instance. The cycle time to put up a new product has gone down quite substantially, dramatically, and therefore they're able to give out new products to the market, production planning, cost cutting, manpower cutting. Banking is the same, financial services. Now you heard it, you talk to bots, you don't talk to call centers anymore on stage one. So, India's AI story, if you ask me personally, plays out very well in the application side of the India market because their cost structure is going to go down substantially. The number of requirement of people goes down substantially, and therefore they'll be far more efficient in cost. So I think India's story of AI is going to be application, not the principal developers of AI. Yeah, there may be a few off, but by and large, application of AI will give better benefits to Indian stock market investors in those industries than pure AI India stories. Again, the same thing. You want to bet on AI, why would you bet on a suboptimal India story? You got global options, just go bet on them, including things like quantum computing. We don't have stocks in India at the end of the day. So you have no choice but to bet on them.
And would the lenders be the lowest hanging fruit in that space, Ajay? I know you're an open critic of some of the lending institutions, but it looks like the easiest way to play the trade, right? Where efficiencies can really kick in very quickly.
You say I'm the oldest cricket, and have I been wrong? Look at the performance of the top banks for 5 years, our stellar performance. It's just ridiculous what they've done to the investors. Smaller banks are doing well, reasonably okay. They're doing well, they're doing better. And the best part is they're getting dollars of capital from abroad, which makes them, will make them slave more for your work, for your money at the end of the day. So I think, yes, answer is banking sector will be the biggest beneficiary of AI because their cost of reduction will be so substantial that way people not even imagine it. I think that's the biggest story out there. I point out auto for one reason. Auto fundamentally we are strong. We are globally strong in exports. And if we can use AI to our advantage in auto, I think we are unbeatable. Banking, we are a domestic story at the end of the day. We are nowhere in the world. We have been gouging Indian depositors of its money, but to paying 2% on savings or current account zero and charge you minimum. So we can gouge Indian investors and savers. That's what Indian banks do best. They're nowhere in the world. Just think about it. Why is there no Indian bank in the world? Because they wouldn't be able to do what they do in India anywhere else in the world. They won't be able to do it. But auto companies compete in the world. The auto ancillaries compete in the world. They are the world's best. So having said banking will get the biggest beneficiary, I still will bet auto because auto gives us global exposure, global scale compared to banks which are on Indian scale.
Interesting, right? But Ajay, do you bet on the auto OEMs or do you bet on the auto ancillaries? Both have opportunities, but where is risk reward better at this point?
I wish I had more money. I would bet on both. The
Bet on
beauty of
both.
this industry is that the local guys have done phenomenally well. And auto ancillaries, wow, what a stories. I would say auto ancillaries and engineering into one bucket to an extent, because that is one India story which is emerging quite beautifully. And we are doing well. We are global leaders. Our margins are good. Expansion is good. Companies, our governance is good. So I think you'll have to divide the money between autos, which are I would say autos is a pure two-wheeler space by and large, which has given the best returns, will continue to give the best returns. I think car companies, okay, maybe sometime good, sometime bad. But two-wheelers, given the EV push, what's happening, is an incredible space. They're given fantastic returns. And I think they've got a long trajectory to go. And we will achieve global dominance in EVs, in two-wheelers, I can tell you that. And that's a great story already. It's a great story to come as well.
Okay, Ajay, we're tight for time today. Lots of corporate conversations, but this has been engaging. Thank you so much for coming in and
Thank you.
speaking to us.
Thank you. You have a good day.
You too.